tomorrow on ABC. The Spurs enter the NBA Finals as favorites to win the title at -205, according to DraftKings Sportsbook. San Antonio came into this season 65-1 odds to win the Finals. If they pull off that feat against the Knicks, the Spurs would be the biggest preseason long shot to win the title in the last 40 seasons, according to Sports Odds history. Charles Barkley, as he often does, had a take on who should be favored.
I know you guys going to be asking me this, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now. I got the Knicks in 6. I think the Knicks have been the best team in the playoffs. And I know people are going to say, well, they played this team, because the two best teams were out west. I said, yeah, that's true. I said, but the Knicks ain't been squeaking by nobody. I mean, they taking lunch money, Freddie.
So Knicks in 6. That is what Charles Barkley had to say. Kendrick Perkins joining us now. Perk, are you more confident in New York or San Antonio?
Oh, it's the Knicks. I got the Knicks winning this series. Do y'all realize that we're witnessing one of the greatest offensive teams in NBA history in the postseason? That's the Knicks. They have an offensive rating of 123. The second team that was close to them was the Oklahoma City Thunder with 117. They are shooting 51% from the field and 40% from the three. And the most impressive thing about the Knicks is that they got different styles offensively. We saw in the first 2 rounds, Mike Brown went to that point center where Karl Anthony Towns was the initiator, and they went into that Golden State type offense where they was, back screening, cutting, shooting a whole lot of threes. He was initiating the offense, and all of a sudden, they went back and they switched it back up, and Big Body Brunson in the conference finals was being ball dominant and being a true point guard and also going to work on the backcourt of the Cavaliers. And so when you think about, yes, I know Wemby is special defensively, but he got his hands full. When you have a stretch big, one of the best shooting bigs in Karl Anthony Towns to ever play the game of basketball, and now you pull him away from the basket, it releases so many other areas, and now we really get to see how good those San Antonio Spurs perimeter defenders really are.
Cam, how do you see it? Are you more confident in the Knicks or the Spurs?
The Knicks should win this series. Big Perk hit the nail right on the head, what I was going to refer to. When you pull Wemby away from the basket, then San Antonio is essentially playing 4 guards with Wemby. They're not paying attention to his really power forward on San Antonio. If you want to call Harrison Barnes a power forward, no disrespect to him, then you can. But you're playing 4 guards, and when we see Wemby get pulled away from the basket, it's hard and few for San Antonio to get rebounds. I watched Heinrich shoot over Champagny and Vassell last series, and I'm sitting there saying, Heinrich, you got to realize this. OG Anunoby, Perk, you wasn't on last segment. He's a wild card. This is a machine. This is a legit 6'9" machine. Not only that, an NBA champion. He knows what it takes to win a championship. I like the Knicks' demeanor. They're not celebrating when they win these series. Even though they're setting all the records, they're really militant, and they're saying, yeah, we felt like this last year. But the Spurs are actually doing everything growing up right in front of our eyes. If I have to make a pick, as much as the Spurs are my team, I think the Knicks should win this series, going off experience from last year as well. OG being the wild card. And OG has the best defensive rating against Wemby out of people who guarded him over for 100 minutes since the year started.
I'm very, very disappointed in your take, Cameron. And I'm going to tell you why. You just going to let Perk get away with that? Do you realize it's the third team he's picked to win?
No, he picked about 17 teams.
He picked the Spurs. He picked the Thunder. Now he went to Knicks. He all over the place.
Yeah.
He all over the place. Yeah. That's why he getting on here at this time. He was supposed to be on the top of the show. He got delayed. He got delayed on purpose. That's what Perk doing right now. Perk spent the last hour and a half trying to figure out who's going to pick to win the NBA Finals. That's what he did, ladies and gentlemen. Because it's fluid. That's what he's doing, right? We understand Perk. me an hour and say how you let him get away with that, Cam. But I ain't going to let him get away with it. He's all over the place right now. I mean, damn, next week it might be the Spurs. It might be the Spurs. You know what I'm saying? He might reincarnate Holmgren and say, yo, he going to win it all even though he home. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what the hell Perk going to do next. I don't understand it. It's just me. Let me say this to you. I'm not going against my Knicks. I'm picking them to win it. But in terms of answering this direct question, in terms of who you should have more confidence in, I would say to you, the team that knocked off the reigning champions in Oklahoma City, you know, led by a 7'5" dude. You can't teach 7'5". And when you consider the depth that the San Antonio Spurs have, that is not to be underestimated. Fox, Castle, Harper, Vassell, Champagnie, Johnson coming off the bench. I mean, they got weapons all over the place. And what we saw in Game 7, this was a Game 7 on the road. And you know what we saw that we didn't talk enough about with San Antonio? They were making shots when it counted. In the fourth quarter, they were making shots when it counted. It wasn't Wemby. It was the rest of them. So you know what? They got youth. They've got athleticism. They've got size. They defend. Oh, by the way, they were consistently one of the top 2 teams in the NBA, throughout the entire damn season. They did win 62 games. They do have home court advantage. If you're going to pick the Knicks, in all likelihood, like Charles Barkley pointed out, you're picking them in 6 because who's thinking that the Knicks are going to go back to San Antonio in a Game 7 and win a Game 7, even though they could? Who's thinking like that? When we think about the Knicks winning this series, a lot of us are assuming they're going to pull it off in 6 games because that's what they're going to have to do because you don't want to go to a Game 7 and go up against San Antonio. So I would say that right now, there's justification for having San Antonio as the favorites and to have more confidence in them right now than the New York Knicks, even though I ain't going against my Knicks to win the chip.
Yeah. Oh, I remember last week, Stephen A., you had mentioned that who would the Knicks want to play? They're getting the team that they want to play, yet that team in the Spurs, because they just won 7, favored. Obviously, they just put out the reigning champs in Oklahoma City, but as we see it, you have more confidence in them. You want the Knicks to win. Perk, I want to get you in here so you can defend yourself here. And if you want to change your pick, you're more than welcome to do that, too.
I'm not the only person that can change my pick.
Hey, Perk, did you catch Courtney? Did you catch Courtney slide that in on you like that?
Yeah,
Courtney got you.
Did you see what you did?
He knows it's all love this way, Stephen A.
My focus is on you. Because before the playoffs started, I could have sworn your picks were the Celtics and Oklahoma City, not your Knicks. No.
That was before Tatum got hurt. That's before Tatum got hurt, bro. That's before Tatum got hurt.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
so things happen. But let me say this. This is actually the Spurs' first real test. Because if you think about it, yeah, they look pretty damn good against the Portland Trail Blazers. Okay, they went up against a Minnesota team. Anthony Edwards was hurt, probably not even close to 50%, was out there thugging it out on 2 hurt knees. Okay, they get to the conference finals, going against the champs, and the champs were missing their all NBA, all defensive Robin and J-Dub. So now, all of a sudden, you're facing a healthy Knicks team that is playing the best basketball out of everybody. In my opinion, this is going to be the biggest test for Wemby. This right here is going to be the biggest test of his young career, for as challenging him to who we voted or saying who he's going to be, one of the greatest defenders that we've ever seen. We got to see it in this NBA Finals. So I'm looking at Wemby and I'm saying, are you going to be able to guard Karl Anthony Towns on the perimeter and protect the basket? We know he's special, but he's going to have to do it. And so now when you look at what happened in the last series, the biggest thing that you have to do against the Spurs is you have to make threes. You have to be able to knock down the three-point shot at a high clip. The New York Knicks are doing that better than anybody else. So, again, however you want to look at it, I'm okay with it.
I think we lost Perk there for a minute. He might still be changing his pick.
I got the Knicks winning this series.
But let's get into this a little bit more with Perk coming up next, because we've got an A-list to get you. Stephen A. will tell you the top 5 things the Knicks